Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, August 28, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. We can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 7:11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:11 p.m. Jamaica time, they still have that area across the main development region highlighted for possible tropical cyclone development within the next 7 days. It says here, a broad area of disorganized showers over the central tropical Atlantic are associated with a tropical wave. Some slow development of this system is possible this weekend into the middle of next week, while it moves westward to west-northwestward at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And we see that they've given it a 0% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours, that's the next 2 days, and a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. If we take a look at the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models, we're going to be seeing what's unfolding regarding what's going to be happening regarding this system. We're going to keep our attention right here across the main development region into the eastern to the central Caribbean. And we're going to be focusing on the timestamp right here. And we're going to be looking for the greens that represent moisture. And we're just going to be going up to the next 168 hours. That's the next 7 days, just like what the U.S. National Hurricane Center would do. And as we go out in time, we see the moisture associated with the tropical wave right here to the east of the Caribbean. And then it makes its way closer to the Caribbean, possibly affecting the leeward and windward islands by about 18 on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday. And as we continue to go out in time, we see that there's definitely still an abundance of moisture there. And then by the end of the 168 hours, that's 12Z on Wednesday, which is actually 7 a.m. on Wednesday. We can see the area of low pressure somewhere here to the south of Hispaniola. And we can even see another area of low pressure trying to, get its act together across the main development region at that time. So who knows, maybe we might get another code yellow sometime soon. But the thing is, we don't see that it has developed much. We don't see much isobars or contour lines, and we don't see rapid strengthening taking place as the millibars are still way up there, up to 10, up to 0.9 millibars, 10, 12 millibars. Nothing drastic. If we take a look at what the GFS is showing, we can tell that as we go out in time, all we see is more moisture than anything else. Look at all the greens, they represent a lot of moisture pushing from east-west into the Caribbean. So regardless of development, there's a lot of rainfall coming our way. We see that by the end of the 168 hours, we have the darkest shades of greens that represent the most in the way of rainfall right there to the south of Hispaniola as well. So the GFS and the Euro are kind of in consensus with where the brunt of the tropical wave should be located by Wednesday, September 4. And we can also see that the GFS is showing something else across the main development region, a bit more east than what the Euro had in terms of that main development region system behind this one. So we see the Euro has it closer to the middle part of the Atlantic, equidistant from Africa and the main development region. The GFS has it closer towards the Cabo Verde Islands right there. So I guess it's slower on the GFS. We'll see exactly what unfolds as time goes on, and I'll definitely be here to keep you updated with exactly what takes place. If we take a look at the 7-day graphical tropical weather look for the Eastern Pacific, we can see that as of their latest update, that's 4:13 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we still have Tropical Storm Gilma and Tropical Storm Hector. And we can see right here that Tropical Storm Hector is still moving towards the west at 9 miles per hour. It's expected to weaken back to a tropical depression by Thursday. And right now it's packing maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. We can see the tropical storm force winds extending out mainly to the north of the system's center. If we take a look at the tropical storm Gilma right here, we can see that it is moving westward right now at 14 miles per hour. And it's expected to move more north than west soon. So more west northwest or more northwest. And it will become a tropical depression by Thursday into Friday as it makes its closest pass to the Hawaiian Islands. So with the other system that was Hone, that was passing more southward, and it affected the big island right here. The northern islands didn't get much in the way of rainfall, but now there's a flip. Now the northern islands are going to be getting the brunt of the rainfall. That's if it actually holds up with the tropical depression status. I'm sure the rainfall is much welcome. As of right now, it's packing maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. And we can see the tropical storm force winds extending out to the north and to the east of the system's center. And there we have Hone. There's the western edge of the Hawaiian Islands, still moving towards the west-northwest. And it should maintain tropical storm status according to this latest update. As of right now, it's still packing maximum sustained winds of 58 miles per hour. However, if we shift gears and talk about the Western Pacific, so we know sometimes we see exactly what's going on over this side of the world, considering that we have a lot of Jamaicans who live elsewhere, not only in the Caribbean, but we definitely have a lot of Jamaicans out there who work or live. So we have mainland China right here, we have Taiwan right here, we have South Korea right here, and we have North Korea right here, and we have Japan right here. But look at this system. This is Typhoon Shanshan. Yesterday, Shanshan was a Category 4 hurricane, and we saw the big eye associated with it. Today, we can see that Shanshan has definitely weakened, but there's still going to be a lot of cloud showers and thunderstorms and windy weather across Japan. So if you have relatives or friends in Japan, please ensure that you get in touch with them. It's only a matter of time before these systems cut the power. We know the Japanese infrastructure is strong, but these hurricanes are stronger, and you can definitely have power outages in these well-developed countries. We can see the path that it takes, still keeping it as a hurricane in the yellow. The yellow represents hurricane status. The green represents tropical storm status. And we can see that it's definitely pushing towards the northeast to cross directly over Japan. As of right now, the system is packing maximum sustained winds of 85 knots. And 85 knots is about the equivalent right here. We have the wind speed in knots. 85 knots is about the equivalent of a Category 2 hurricane. So it has definitely weakened from Category 4. Yesterday it had maximum sustained winds of 115 knots. And we see how it has weakened somewhat. And it's definitely expected to move to the north and then towards the northeast, just like what the other models, the spaghetti models at that, were showing. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can still see the ridges of high pressure to the north that we know are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. We have a trough right here to the northeast of the Bahamas, another trough right here across the Gulf of Mexico. We can see a tropical wave across the eastern Caribbean, and that very tropical wave that the Hurricane Center is watching right there across the waters of the main development region. Excuse me. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with the trough. That's going to be bringing a lot of moisture to portions of the Gulf Coast of the United States. We can also see the clouds associated with the tropical wave affecting portions of the eastern Caribbean, and the clouds associated with the other tropical wave across the main development region that the Hurricane Center is watching for some amount of development. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Wednesday, August 28, 2024. It was stated that parts of eastern Jamaica would have received some morning rainfall, and that the rainfall would have spilled into sections of central and western Jamaica during Wednesday afternoon. And what ended up happening? By the way, We know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey. So Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrews, Central parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex. So St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While western parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall. So Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as 9 a.m., the Cuban Doppler radar images were posted here on our Twitter page. By the way, keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the greens and the yellows within those greens represent some amount of light to moderate to some slight heavy rainfall across sections of eastern Jamaica. So definitely across section of Portland, St. Thomas gotten on some amount of rainfall at that time. And the time was around 9 a.m. Jamaica time, but we see it right here at the timestamp at the top. That's 10 a.m. in Cuba. And we know that we're 1 hour behind compared to that country. And then during the afternoon at around 2:15 p.m., the infrared satellite image was posted and it highlighted some clouds and some thunderstorms across sections of some central and western parishes. And we also saw the sparkling white dust that we know represents somewhat of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. We definitely had the thunderstorm activity. As a matter of fact, if we look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can see what took place. We definitely had the thunderstorm, especially across sections of St. Anne, sections of Clarendon, sections of St. Elizabeth. And we saw some clouds coming in from the east, but by the time they got more westward, they were dissipating. And look at that, we still had some thunderstorms bubbling up even as the sun was going down across portions of northwestern St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. And we definitely have some confirmation from some of our followers about the weather in their area. On our Instagram page, we have Bana_base stating overcast with distant lightning and thunder. Al-Cebu collection stating thunder rolling in Kingston 11 area at this time. And if we even take a look at the Barbican camera at around 15:40, that's about 3:40 p.m., we can see that it was mostly overcast at that time period. Dry than anything else. We don't see much in the way of rainfall across the corporate area. By the way, keep in mind that if you'd like to see live streams like this with Barbican, Crossroads Halfway Tree, the Bagua Gorge, Kingston Harbor, the panoramic view of the city of Kingston, just visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel. If you don't know by now, we have a partnership with this channel. We show live streams and we like to show these live streams. We like to see the rain in action to match it with what we're seeing on the visible satellite images. And the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours kind of paints the picture of where we had the rainfall today. Section of mainly central and western Jamaica, especially during the afternoon hours, mostly eastern Jamaica in the morning. But look at what we're seeing right now. This is some crazy thunderstorm activity taking place out west as we speak. And this is as of the latest update from the infrared satellite image that just came out at 35 minutes past the hour. That's about 7:35 p.m. Jamaica time. Look at this huge burst of convection that's definitely lashing portions of Negril, Westmoreland as we speak, section of northwestern St. Elizabeth. Some of these clouds spilling into portions of Hanover as well. We also see some sparkling white that's right there that represents some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, across section of Clarendon. They're definitely getting nailed in Negril as we speak. Let me see if I can find the Rick's Cafe live cam. You know, Rick's Cafe is in Negril. Let's see if something is even showing up. Yes, you can see that it's definitely raining. The place looks a bit wet, but will we be able to see the lightning? Because that's a lot of lightning that we're seeing right now. Ah, there we go. They're definitely getting it as we speak. Lots of thunderstorms in Negril right now. And even the Cuban Doppler radar images confirm this. Look at all of the heavy rainfall taking place in the yellows and the gold and the red. That's some tremendous severe thunderstorms that are taking place. Some heavy rainfall right there off to the southwest of Westmoreland. And this is as of the latest Cuban Doppler radar image at 8:40 p.m., which is actually 7:40 p.m. Jamaica time. And we also see that rainfall that we mentioned across the waters of the southern Manchester as well as Clarendon that we see right here on the latest image. Let's see if we can find it back. Alright, there it is. Wherever we usually have the sparkling white dots, that's where the thunderstorms, that's where the rainfall is located. We know that. If we take a look at what's happening on the Guantanamo Bay military radar, we don't see much taking place. Just some isolated shores right there off the western coast of Haiti. Some rainfall across southeastern Cuba. The Cayman radar also showing that heavy rainfall associated with that thunderstorm cell right there to the southwest of Westmoreland. They're definitely getting nailed as we speak. Negril for sure. We can also see some rainfall right there to the west of the Cayman Islands. If we take a look at what's happening right now on the halfway tree cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, the east side of the island not getting much in the way of rainfall at all. You can definitely see persons and the vehicles going about their business. It's gonna be a fair night for sure. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can tell 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Thursday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look here at the temperature forecast for Thursday 18Z, which is actually 1 p.m. We see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellow and some slight orange colors that we can see by the key on the right. That represents up to 1, maybe even up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures for the month of August. I know the normal temperatures for the month of August are about the same as 91 degrees Fahrenheit, almost the same as July. 91 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius when calculated. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 34 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Thursday. So please ensure that you stay hydrated as much as possible. Stay out of the sun during peak hours. If you're going to be in the sun, wear a hat, use an umbrella, and stay hydrated. Drink more water than anything else and eat more fruits than anything else if I were you. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Thursday, we can see Jamaica right here not getting in on much in the way of Saharan dust, even although we see some slight brown starting to come into portion of the eastern to the central Caribbean that we know represents the Saharan dust. But this is not that vigorous of a plume at all to do much of anything. What we don't want to see is this darker shade of brown closer to Africa that we know can cause, respiratory illnesses in some persons, whether it be asthma, sinusitis, not to mention cause a lot of hazy skies. This Saharan dust is coming into the Caribbean, but we won't even notice it like that. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see not much change. The Gulf of Mexico and Western Caribbean getting in on the least amount of wave heights in terms of 0.5 meter wave heights, while the Central to the Eastern Caribbean getting in on those darker shades of blues that represents 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights. And that's because winds are going to be averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 knots across the Gulf of Mexico, coming in from the southeast for the most part. Across the Caribbean, coming in from the east, averaging anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 knots. You can definitely see that easterly flow right there, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. If we take a look at the close-up of Jamaica in terms of where the winds are expected, we can definitely see the winds coming in more so from the northeast on the north coast, coming in from the east and curling northward on the south coast. Either way, we see that the least amount of winds are going to be across central and western Jamaica. So that's where we might have the air piling up. That's where we might have the daytime heating, rainfall, the diurnal convection. That's where the low-level clouds are going to be piling up and becoming middle-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. And with the upper-level winds coming in, not that strong, but coming in kind of from the south tomorrow. Maybe those high cold clouds might blow up to that direction. As of right now, we see that we don't have much in the way of wind shear. We saw when this thunderstorm started to take shape across Westmoreland as we speak. The clouds fanned out into all directions. We don't see the high cold clouds being blown up to any specific direction at all. This is a classic thunderstorm cell for sure. Westmoreland definitely getting nailed as we speak. And if we actually take a look at where the rainfall is expected, we can see this map from the EUR and this map from the GFS showing 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we see some blues that represent rainfall on the Euro for northern and eastern Jamaica. GFS not so impressed with the northern Jamaica thing, but more so eastern Jamaica, section of maybe St. Thomas, Portland for that morning hour. Skipping ahead to about 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. We see the blues that represent rainfall now widespread across eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. So who knows, we might definitely get in on some afternoon rainfall. We see both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus with this. Even by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 9 p.m. Jamaica time, we still see some blues that represent rainfall in and around the island on both the Euro and the GFS malls. We'll see exactly what unfolds with that. Either way, both accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that it's going to be raining somewhere across Jamaica within the next 24 hours. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3 on Friday. That's now all the way up until 10 p.m. on Thursday when calculated. And we see the Euro a bit more robust than the GFS for sure. Euro showing more reds that represents close to 1 inch. That's almost 0.88 of an inch of rainfall. More so across the east, the Kingston St. Andrew. GFS has the rainfall, yes, across Kingston St. Andrew, 0.56 of an inch of rainfall. But look at that, even southwestern Jamaica getting in on the mix up to 0.54 of an inch of rainfall. We see the oranges. So the GFS showing less rainfall than what the Euro was showing. But we're still going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall within the next 24 hours across Jamaica. And we're indeed grateful for that. We're in the month of August. We're starting to get into our peak of the rainy season in general. We can see that in Kingston, we usually receive almost 100 millimeters of rainfall during August. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay, we usually receive almost 5 inches of rainfall. That's almost 125 millimeters of rainfall. So you can even visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about your specific parish and the rainfall that you usually receive yearly. And you can use this graphic to help you that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the calculations yourself. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have clouds associated with a trough doing a number on the waters of the Gulf of Mexico, Florida, lots of cloud showers and thunderstorms. The southern United States definitely getting nailed even as we speak. Section of Central America, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, the Bahamas getting on thunderstorm activity. Section of the Eastern Caribbean associated with a tropical wave as well. And if we take a look at the Northeastern Caribbean's Doppler radar imagery, we're going to be seeing what's unfolding and we're going to be seeing what took place today for sure. So what's happening right now is that especially the Eastern Caribbean definitely getting in on some rainfall, waters to the east and across Guadeloupe definitely getting in on some rainfall as we speak. The US and British Virgin Islands as well. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images from earlier today, we don't see much happening. Maybe a little isolated thunderstorm still across western Puerto Rico. We can also see some isolated showers coming into portions of eastern Puerto Rico. But as of their latest update, most of the rainfall is right there off to the east of the islands and it's pushing westward to Dominica and Martinique. Definitely going to be getting in some rainfall tonight. Even on the Barbados radar, we see the heavy rainfall to the north of there, pushing from east to west into section of Martinique, section of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Definitely getting in on some rainfall right now. And we can also see more rainfall coming in from the east of section of Barbados later on tonight. Trinidad getting in on some rainfall as we speak. If we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across sections of Florida, the northern Bahamas, Cuba, sections of the Yucatan Peninsula, so sections of northern Guatemala, sections of Honduras, northern Belize getting in on the mix. We can also see some rainfall on the Colombian radar, some rainfall across the northern and eastern portions of Venezuela. We can also see some rainfall right there across coastal areas of French Guiana. And that's really where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3 on Friday when calculated. That's all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Thursday. And we can see the colors that represents anywhere from 0.2 all the way up to 1 inch of rainfall in the red. And we definitely see the consensus, we definitely see the agreement on both the Euro and the JFS malls that there's gonna be some amount of rainfall in store for sections of the Cayman Islands, Florida, Cuba, section of the Bahamas, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands. Those areas, if they're not already receiving that rainfall, is definitely coming before we get to 10 p.m. on Thursday. Sections of the Leeward Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Barts, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, sections of Guadeloupe, Martinique, sections of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, even areas south of there across northern South America, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, sections of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula is definitely getting more moist as we head into the peak of hurricane season. So even if these tropical waves are having a trouble developing, we're indeed grateful that we're getting on more moisture. The peak of our rainy season is definitely here, and we're indeed grateful because we need the rain to cool down the temperatures and keep water in our pipes. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.